The UPSC CSE arena is an ever-evolving space where staying up to date becomes as crucial as maintaining a thorough preparation. With strategic planning and holistic coverage for exam syllabus, Vision IS Delhi presents GS Foundation course. Avail analysis and integration of current affairs with GS syllabus. All India test series with an innovative assessment system, inculcating post-test analysis, discussion, All India ranking, and more. Explore the holistic learning modules intrinsically designed for the ideal aspirant.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Himanshu Khatri, and I teach modern history, post-independence India, and world history at Vision IS. Right, but this open session will also try to briefly cover, how to approach ancient and medieval also. So, how many of you are just begin your preparation, or like what it is, like what's your background? How many of you are in colleges right now? Most of you are in colleges. Final year or second, third, first year? Okay. Okay, fundas are clear. Huh? Okay, nice. So, you don't have any idea about history, right? Or you have gone through the syllabus. Have some basic idea about history or not? Okay. Obviously, you studied history all through your school life, no? Which was basically a fake way to study history. No? So, khair, we study history in a different manner, right? And we'll try to approach history in a different manner. So that's my brief background. I did my graduation from IIT Delhi from 2004 to 2008. Then I worked in the private sector for a couple of years. Then I became IRS in 2014 by giving 2013 exam. And then I resigned in 2020, right? Because my first choice was foreign services, but wo ho nahi paya tha. Khair, that's a separate matter. Right now I teach what you call as, because my first choice was foreign services, so therefore world history became favorite subject, and from there I came towards modern history and post-independence India also. So if you look at the number of questions which have been asked, so this like number of questions with respect to the ancient, medieval, art and culture, right? So that's the total part. That is if we exclude modern, right? So ancient, medieval से इतने questions पूछे गए हैं, तो roughly decent amount of things are there, like 10 to 11 questions are roughly asked, and then greater weightages of modern history, whereby 3, 4, 7 questions, 9 questions, that kind of scenario it is there with respect to prelims, right? So therefore in prelims total roughly ranging from 13 to 20 questions are asked. So from that perspective history becomes important. uh, no subject is less important, first thing, ठीक है ना, because we are the youth of our country. So therefore there are some important things which I want to address to you. You should not get stuck in the cycle of UPSC, because your careers are very very important. So why does it happen that people, they end up giving 6 attempts and still they are not able to qualify, right? So the reason for that is we always prepare for prelims, because we usually are lacking confidence, and we usually think that okay, in the first attempt I'll qualify prelims at least, right? So our focus is and it's very natural also, we are always worried about the next exam. We are not worried about next to next exam, and as a result, because the competition is very very high, so we usually focus on the prelims only subjects, right? But prelims is just a method to remove the relatively bad students. I'm not saying that any student is bad in absolute terms, but the relatively, because competition is there, so relatively bad students are removed. So it's a filtering out kind of process. Whereas mains exam is a selection exam. Selection exam means there you want to pick up the good students, right? So there's a slight difference. Okay. So now in the mains exam, if you do not qualify the mains is a real test of your knowledge, right? And there is always integrated preparation of prelims and mains. If anyone ever tries to tell you focus on prelims, or frankly, my personal view, it's all, you know, because subject is one, right? Apply logic, right? Whatever is logical is right. I can ask, I can frame a MCQ from the same content, and I can frame a mains level question from the same content. The format of the question is only different. Otherwise, the knowledge base is the same. And therefore, if we always prepare in an integrated manner, we'll always be preparing for prelims as well as mains, right? And without qualifying mains, you will never be able to be IAS. You will never be able to achieve your dreams. खाली prelims qualify करके क्या होना है? थोड़ा सा family में हो जाएगा कि अच्छा, you know, हमारे बेटी ने या बेटे ने प्रीलिम्स क्वालिफाई किया हुआ है, देखो देखो भोकाल टाइट है, अभी कुछ हुआ नहीं है, ठीक है? तो ऐसा, जैसे मेरे पापा भोकाल टाइट रखते थे, ठीक है ना, प्रीलिम्स हो गया फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट में, ठीक है ना, तो वो तो IRS का पावर मेरे प्रिपरेशन से ही इंजॉय कर रहे थे, है ना? मॉर्निंग वॉक पे जा रहे हैं, सो देयरफॉर इफ कोलीग्स आर आस्किंग दैट व्हाट इज योर सन डूइंग, IAS के लिए प्रिपेयर कर रहा है, ठीक है? ऐसा भोकाल टाइट रखता है, ठीक है, ऐसा, है ना? तो उससे कोई फ़ायदा नहीं है. द होल पॉइंट इज दैट टिल द पॉइंट ऑफ एंड personality test is important, but your personality is mostly crafted, है ना? By if you study psychology, by 5 years of age, by 8 years of age, most of your values are actually fixed. Some polishing can be done, but जो आप बन चुके हो, जिसका कटना था उसका कट चुका है, ठीक है? तो वो कुछ आप कर नहीं सकते उस वाले केस में, है ना? As per Sigmund Freud, by 5 years of age, your values are fixed, and values are the key determinants. And as per Erik Erikson, by 8 years of age, your values are fixed, and it is only life-changing experiences which change your values. Stereotypes are different, they are easily changeable. Attitudes are different, they are easily changeable. But values are very emotional, very core, very tough to change, right? So and they are the core determinants of your personality. That is the one aspect, right? तो इसलिए मेंस है जो मेन है, ठीक है ना? एंड इन दी मेंस, more than 50% of the marks, in fact roughly 60% of the marks, they come from those subjects which are not common to prelims. The whole ethics is 250 marks, your optional is 500 marks, 750 marks तो यही हो गए, essay is 250 marks, right? 100 जो भी, right? तो roughly 1000 marks, plus you add world history to it, right? essay कितना 200 marks का होता है ना? essay तो 200 marks का होता है ना, या 250 गई, 250 गई, ठीक है? खैर मेरे टाइम पे दोनों होते थे ना, तो मैंने आपके वाले अटेम्प्ट से भी रखा उससे, खैर जो भी है, डजंट मैटर. सो 1000 मार्क्स तो यही हो गए, ठीक है ना? उसके अलावा GS 1 to 3 ओनली 750 मार्क्स, सो 1000 और 750 तो यही हो गया. एंड देयर ऑल्सो यू हैव वर्ल्ड हिस्ट्री, यू हैव पोस्ट इंडिपेंडेंस इंडिया, यू हैव इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी, यू हैव सोसाइटी, विच आर सो कॉल्ड मीन्स ओनली सब्जेक्ट्स, राइट? सो like 65% or 60% of the marks are coming from those subjects which are not common to prelims and mains, right? And we usually are under pressure. Parents are also like, अरे कम से कम prelims तो कर ले, है ना? As a result, we are usually into this particular domain that we have to qualify prelims, and we always keep on studying about 750 marks or maybe 650 marks, and we are neglecting that 1000 plus that 100, मतलब 1100 marks के लिए हम कभी नहीं पढ़ रहे हैं. We are always focused on 650 marks. Now, the time which is available between prelims, let's say you qualify prelims and the mains, it will only 3.5 months or so. In 3.5 months, can you prepare all of that 1100 marks? Plus, you have to revise the prelims wale subjects from the mains perspective. Plus, without test series, you will not be able to qualify because till the point of time you do not write down. तो वो काम अनडुएबल हो जाता है इन 3.5 months. आप उसको बहुत पार्शली अचीव कर पाते हो, है ना. एंड इट इज़ ऑब्वियस कि आप फिर मेंस में क्वालिफाई नहीं कर पाएंगे. मेंस कब रिजल्ट मेंस कब होता है? अक्टूबर में होता है. रिजल्ट कब तक आता है? नवंबर में रिजल्ट आता है. ठीक है ना. अक्टूबर से नवंबर के बीच में थोड़ा सा तो रिलैक्स करोगे बिकॉज यू आर इन ऑन अ टायरिंग जर्नी, है ना. रिजल्ट कम्स नेगेटिव, 5 दिन तो रोएगा. कितने दिन रोएगा? पूछ रहा हूँ तेरे से, कितने दिन रोएगा? 5, 10, 15 अगर मेंस में नहीं हुआ तो. तभी तो तेरे से पूछ रहा हूँ. 1 महीना रोएगा, चलो ठीक है. तो 1 महीना, तो वापस से हम कहाँ आ गए? दिसंबर. हमारे नेचर में होता है वी ऑलवेज स्टडी फॉर द नेक्स्ट एग्जाम. अब मैं तुमको बोलूँ कि दिसंबर में, जनवरी में यू स्टडी एथिक्स, ठीक है, तो शायद से 1 महीना मे बी यू आर एबल टू डू इट. बट आफ्टर दैट योर एंग्जाइटी टुवर्ड्स प्रीलिम्स विल बी वेरी वेरी हाई. आपको सर नहीं सर वो प्रीलिम्स का इतना सारा है प्लस न्यूज़पेपर रोज़ आ रहा है तो उसको बाद में कर लूँ क्या सर मैं. सेम साइकिल विल गेट रिपीटेड एक्चुअली. ये एक मेजर कारण बन जाता है. दिस बिकम्स अ मेजर रीज़न दैट वाई आवर करियर्स, you know, because of our anxiety our careers are going into this direction, ठीक है, which is wrong direction, है ना. So therefore from day one our focus should be mains, right? And that's why the mains only subjects are also very very important. In fact, you know, the competition is so high. Even if I do such kind of analysis, why I started discussing this suddenly, because I'm not a fan of graphs, right? Why? The quantitative analysis is important, but ultimately it is the qualitative analysis which becomes more important actually. You need to know the why of the graph, you know, you need to know the why of the stats, you need to know the consequences of the stats in themselves, they may hide the real picture. So that's why I'm discussing this. Because the competition is very high, everyone knows that from certain subjects more number of questions come. As a result, most of the candidates, in fact all the candidates, over prepare those subjects. Now mains exam is taking place, you will not be able to beat your fellow competitor in economics, you will not be able to beat your fellow competitor in geography, because everyone knows that in subject से थोड़े से questions आते हैं. हिस्ट्री का भी है, ये मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री का, everyone prepares in a modern history related to good level. So वहाँ तो you know seats are 800 and roughly 3000 or 4000 students are there who are neck to neck. So who will move ahead into 800 from 4000 seats? एक क्वेश्चन वर्ल्ड हिस्ट्री का आया, यू वेंट अहेड बाय 10 marks. एक क्वेश्चन पोस्ट इंडिपेंडेंस का आया, देयर यू वेंट अहेड बाय 7 marks. सो यू सी all subjects are important. The person who neglects, you know, even those subjects from which just 1 or 2 questions are coming, right? And if they are doable kind of subjects, ek to always there are such kind of subjects which you may not be able to do, and there are always such kind of subjects which you able to do. For example, for me art and culture was very tough, or for me, you know, geography was very tough. और उसके ऊपर अगर मैं पोस्ट इंडिपेंडेंस इंडिया या फिर इन सब्जेक्ट्स को नेगलेक्ट करता तो मेरा तो बैंड ही बच जाता. तो मेरे लिए तो और भी ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाते हैं ये छोटे छोटे सब्जेक्ट्स if by chance I am weak in one of the core subject, which can be a reality for many students. इसकी वजह से हमें बहुत इंटीग्रिटी से पढ़ना चाहिए, and we should from day one plan for all the subjects. Yes, weightage of time can be given more from to those subjects where more questions are coming, but totally neglecting those areas from which less questions are coming, especially in the mains, it's a recipe for disaster. Especially if that subject is such कि अगर आप उसमें मेहनत करें तो आप उसको कर पाएंगे, है ना. उसको नेग्लेक्ट नहीं करना चाहिए. अब यूपीएससी मे बी आस्किंग ओनली 1 क्वेश्चन, लेट्स से, और 1.5 क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम वर्ल्ड हिस्ट्री, बट द सिलेबस ऑफ वर्ल्ड हिस्ट्री तो उतना ही है जितना मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री का है. तो टाइम तो सब्जेक्ट लेगा ना, कोई किसी का लिंक तो है नहीं यूपीएससी के साथ, दैट यू नो, अदरवाइज सिलेबस ऑफ यूपीएससी कैन गेट कंप्लीटेड इन 1 day इटसेल्फ इफ पेपर लीक हो जाए. ठीक है. सो एक्चुअली टाइम रिक्वायर्ड इज नॉट डिपेंडेंट ऑन द नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चंस आस्क्ड बाय द यूपीएससी. time required to complete a subject is dependent on the syllabus given by the UPSC. It is not dependent on the number of questions asked by UPSC. And therefore, your planning should be as per number of questions asked by the UPSC, or your planning should be as per the syllabus given by the UPSC. It should be as per syllabus given by UPSC. As per number of questions asked by UPSC, fine. You can give slightly more time or slightly less time. That means adjustment, but not the core. Core will be built on the basis of syllabus. एडजस्टमेंट विल बी ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ कि चलो ठीक है इससे यूपीएससी थोड़ा कम क्वेश्चन करे, तो अगर मेरे को चॉइस करना है कि एक ही दिन है क्या पढ़ूं, तो चलो उस केस में यू गो फॉर दैट सब्जेक्ट फ्रॉम विच मोर नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चंस आर आस्क्ड. That is logical and that is, I think, the right approach, right? So therefore, at your level, when you are beginning, and I'm taking the session of history, so therefore at the beginning itself you should not develop biases. This is important, quantitative analysis is important, but please do not develop biases, right? And that is the logic for it. ठीक है. और एक सद्भावना है with respect to youth, because मैं भी उस टाइम पे आप जैसा ही था. थर्ड अटेम्प्ट तक आते आते बहुत एंग्जाइटी हो गई थी that what will happen, ठीक है, बिकॉज कॉम्पिटिशन इज वेरी हाई. ठीक है ना. तो एक और चीज़ आप ये करना, दैट गिव 1.5 year फुल्ली टू यूपीएससी प्रिपरेशन, राइट, एंड कंप्लीट ऑल द नोट्स, कंप्लीट ऑल द कोचिंग. ठीक है. एंड आफ्टर दैट यू गो फॉर योर प्लान बी. द रीज़न इज नॉट दैट आई हैव लेस फेथ इन यू. डरता नहीं हूँ मैं तो जॉब ही छोड़ दी IRS की. रिबेल हूँ मैं. रिबेल किसी से नहीं डरता. ठीक है. रिबेल मतलब अपने सपनों के लिए रिबेल. मुझे वहाँ पे सेटिस्फैक्शन नहीं आता, तो मुझे यार एक ही लाइफ है जहाँ मज़ा आता है वो करते हैं. ठीक है ना. मुझे पढ़ाने बहुत मज़ा आता है. ठीक है ना. तो डर वाली बात नहीं है, बट बात ये है, इफ़ आई नो दैट आई हैव अ बैकअप प्लान, सो माई एग्जामिनेशन टेम्परमेंट विल बी बेटर. इफ आई एम नॉट एबल, आई विल फंबल लेस इन द इंटरव्यू. आई विल नॉट बी, माई हार्ट बीट विल इंक्रीज लेस इफ आई एम नॉट एबल टू अटेम्प्ट वन ऑफ द क्वेश्चन ऑफ द मेन्स और द प्रीलिम्स. एंड इफ आई डू नॉट हैव अ बैकअप प्लान, my examination temperament will crash in the examination hall. For example, continuously 3 questions come which I am not able to understand, right? By chance they were tough, so therefore I will like, अब मेरा क्या होगा, है ना? Especially if it is second attempt, that means one past failure is already there. तो इसकी वजह से प्लान बी होना इसलिए नेसेसरी है, इसलिए नहीं कि हम प्लान ए को नहीं एग्जीक्यूट कर सकते. प्लान बी इसलिए नेसेसरी है ताकि हम प्लान ए को डेफिनेटली एग्जीक्यूट कर पाएँ, ताकि ऐसा रहे. ठीक है. दैट आई हैव लाइफ में कुछ तो कर ही लूँगा. हाँ ठीक है, 3 क्वेश्चन टफ है, चौथा देखते हैं. दैट शुड बी द एटीट्यूड इन द एग्जामिनेशन हॉल, एंड 50% इज द एग्जामिनेशन टेम्परमेंट. इवन सचिन तेंदुलकर फेल्ड इन द फाइनल्स ऑफ द वर्ल्ड कप्स. Why? Because he did not have the temperament in that match. So we'll be hoping that Sachin, and Sachin, 0, gone against Australia, 2003 World Cup. Heartbreak. अबे यार, Zahir Khan, who must be bowling so much in the nets, etc. Wide पे wide, no ball पे no ball. इतना टेंशन में आ गया. क्यों? क्योंकि ये बॉल ठीक नहीं डाला तो वर्ल्ड कप नहीं आएगा. Always treat your UPSC exam as test series, and always treat your test series as UPSC exam. अगर कर पाते हो तो एग्जामिनेशन टेम्परमेंट आ जाता है. धोनी इसलिए तो धोनी था, वो ये कर पाता. धोनी के लिए वो बॉल एक बॉल है, वो कप वप उसके दिमाग में नहीं आएगा. ठीक है, वो बॉल है, वो देखना वो क्या करना, वो मतलब बिल्कुल वो इमोशनलेस होकर मतलब एग्जीक्यूट कर रहा है ना. ऐसा एग्जामिनेशन टेम्परमेंट इंप्रूव हो जाता है इफ़ यू हैव सम बैकअप प्लान. ठीक है, तो बस ये एक सेकंड एडवाइस है मेरी. नाउ वील कंटिन्यू विद दिस. नाउ सिलेबस तो एवरीवन नोज, राइट. आप यहाँ सिलेबस देखने तो आए नहीं हो, है ना. सिलेबस तो आपको भी पता है. तो क्या है सिलेबस पर डिस्कस कर लेते हैं. सो बेस इज प्री हिस्टोरिक पीरियड प्लस इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन, अर्ली इंडियन सोसाइटीज़ एंड स्टेट्स, राइट. एग्जाम्पल, अच्छा, सोसाइटीज़ एंड स्टेट्स तो रुक रुक के पढ़ते हैं. एक बार पूरा पढ़ लेते हैं, फिर रुक रुक के पढ़ने के बाद. ठीक है. अर्ली इंडियन सोसाइटीज़ एंड स्टेट्स, एग्जाम्पल वैदिक पीरियड, महाजनपदा, पावरफुल किंगडम्स during they were powerful kingdoms, Mauryan Empire, Gupta Empire, Harsha dynasty, right, and the propagation of Buddhism and Jainism, South Indian kingdoms including Cholas, Cheras, Pandyas. Sources are Vision IAS or Ancient India, class 11th old NCERT or Tamil Nadu NCERT. Fine, so that's syllabus. But how to understand the syllabus? ये तो first learning हो जाता है, right? So the first learning is that if you notice 2 things, so societies and states. So do I know the meaning of the word society? Do I know the meaning of the word state? If I do not know the meaning of these 2 words, really, So therefore, I really do not understand कि मैं क्या पढ़ा है. Do I understand the meaning of the word kingdoms? South India है, that I know. But do I understand the meaning of the word kingdoms? Right, society, states क्या है? Right, so basically here comes the key thing. The whole of history, and in fact, the whole of UPSC, it is about two things. Right, and the number one thing is state. Right, and second thing it is nation or people. So एक बहुत important definition है, nation is summation of people who feel one, equal and supreme. Country is territory or land, and state is an organization actually, एक संस्था है which rules the territory and the people living on it. This definition was given by the French Revolution of 1789. Right, and what is the state? State is an organization, right? So this organization, it looks like this. So there's something called symbolic sovereignty. Like right now, President of India is the head of the state, so therefore he is having the symbolic sovereignty, right? Before 26th of January 1950, right, we were not a republic, so our symbolic sovereignty was in the hands of the British monarch, right? So one aspect of the state is symbolic sovereignty, and the second aspect is what you call as external sovereign functions. External sovereign functions and domestic sovereign functions. External sovereign functions are basically defense, communications, and foreign affairs, right? So your military or Ministry of Defense, foreign affairs, diplomacy, that is Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Communications, without communications, you cannot fight any war, right? So for example, without movement of troops through railways, through shipping lanes, if you do not control. So that's why communications is by default part of like defense, right? So defense communication, जब आप दुनिया से बात करते हो, when your organization talks to the world, that is called as external sovereign functions, and therefore that is defense, communication, foreign affairs. Domestic sovereign functions जब घर के अंदर की बात है, तो Ministry of Home, home घर, है ना? तो home affairs, right, which is basically law and order. Ministry of Finance, health, education, right? So ये जो सारे काम है, ये घर के भीतर के काम है, right? So therefore ये काम होता है स्टेट का. This is the work of the state. ठीक है, दैट इज वन एस्पेक्ट. सेकेंड एस्पेक्ट टू, अभी काम भी दो तीन टाइप के होते हैं. ये जो फंक्शंस हैं, ये भी तीन प्रकार के फंक्शंस होते हैं. फंक्शंस माने काम. किसका काम? स्टेट का काम. ये तीन प्रकार के होते हैं. कानून बनाना, इंप्लीमेंट करना, एंड इंप्लीमेंट करते टाइम या कानून बनाते टाइम अगर कोई डिस्प्यूट्स अराइज होते हैं तो उनको एडजुडिकेट करना. मेकिंग लॉज एंड पॉलिसी, लेजिस्लेचर. Implementing those laws and policy, executive actions, right? And judiciary, that is if any disputes arise, right, while implementing these laws or while formulation of these laws, right? So therefore fine, there is point of adjudication, and at times there can be dispute within the branches of this organization. For example, in 2023, with respect to who controls the civil servants of Delhi, there was a court case in Supreme Court between the Delhi government and the union government. That means at times the organizations or the sub parts of this organization, they can also have dispute with each other, right? Or similarly, for example, if executive under Indira Gandhi promulgated an ordinance, right? So maybe the parliament has an issue, right? So therefore someone files a petition against, and judiciary will decide that whether this is right, whether this is wrong, etc., etc., right? So there can be disputes within the sub branches of this organization, right? Or there can be disputes with respect to between people and the state. So जब PIL फाइल करते हो आप, so therefore it's like people are angry that state has done something wrong, right? Something like this, ठीक है ना? Or people feel that their fundamental rights are abridged, right? So they will go ahead and they file writ petition. Writ petition is for कि भाई मेरे fundamental. So people versus state or organizational part 1 versus organization part 2 of the state itself. तो usually ये होता है. International disputes के लिए इंटरनेशनल कोर्ट ऑफ जस्टिस और वो सब चीज़ें होती हैं, ठीक है, फॉर एक्सटर्नल सॉवरेन अफेयर्स. काम मतलब ये तीन काम होते हैं, ठीक है. एंड व्हाट इज एग्जीक्यूटिव? ठीक है, दिस एग्जीक्यूटिव इज बेसिकली एट द टॉप यू हैव मिनिस्टर्स, एंड अंडर मिनिस्टर्स देर इज ब्यूरोक्रेसी. अंडर मिनिस्टर देर इज ब्यूरोक्रेसी एंड what you call as military. You're trying to get job where? You're trying to get job here. You'll get salary. Every lawmaker, parliamentarians, they get salary. Salary is given to employee. They are employees of the state. Prime Minister and all ministers, they get salary. All judges, they get salary. Why? Because they are employees. Kiske employee? Of an organization. What is the name of the organization? State. Right? And where you are, how to get job in this branch of the state? Well, fight elections. That is the method. How to get job in this branch of the state? Fight elections and get into majority. How to get into this sub branch of executive? Give UPSC exam or give Indian Engineering Service exam, right? यहाँ पे CDS, NDA, right? यहाँ पे judiciary exam. So it is all actually about getting a job in the state, right? And all of these are employees. Some are senior employees and सबका काम निर्धारित है. There is an option called public administration. वो इसी organization के बारे में पढ़ता रहता है. That how this organization can be more efficient, right? Khair. So because UPSC is about getting job here, that's why is it not natural that the people who are applying for job, they should know about state. So what is history? In history is largely dominated by history of the different states or the different organizations which rule the territory, right, and the people on it. Some state was small, that means state is an organization that rules a territory and the people. So some state was small, that means it ruled smaller territory. Some states were bigger. Some states were mid-range. Some states were again bigger. India is a civilization. States have come and gone, but civilization remains. हमारी धरती पे अलग अलग साइज के स्टेट, अलग अलग फॉर्म के स्टेट्स आए और गए. India is a civilization. Minister of Foreign Affairs said India is a civilization state. Right? तो civilization एक separate matter है. ठीक है? Because you are trying to get job in the state, that's why most of the history is about history of the state. Now, all the states were earlier set up by military victories. So they were called military states. पहली बार history में ऐसा हुआ that in 1947, nation is summation of people. So nation state was set up in India. When this organization is built by the nation, for example, what does preamble says? We the people of India give ourselves this constitution. We the people means nation. Give ourselves this constitution. And what is the primary purpose of any constitution? To create the state. There shall be Lok Sabha. There shall be Rajya Sabha. There shall be Council of Minister. There shall be Supreme Court. If you do a quantitative analysis of the articles in the constitution, then majority of the articles are actually about creating the state and assigning functions and talking about how someone can become part of the state. How someone can be removed as speaker. How someone can be removed as president. है ना? स्टेट बनाना प्राइमरी पर्पस होता है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का, संविधान का. अब ये स्टेट अपनी पावर्स का दुरुपयोग ना करे. दिस स्टेट शुड नॉट मिसयूज इट्स पावर, राइट? सो देयरफॉर फंडामेंटल राइट्स आर आल्सो रिक्वायर्ड. बट प्राइमरी पर्पस ऑफ एनी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इज नॉट फंडामेंटल राइट्स. प्राइमरी पर्पस ऑफ एनी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इज बेसिकली कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ अ स्टेट. ये स्टेट फेल नहीं होना चाहिए. दिस स्टेट शुड नॉट फेल बिकॉज दिस हैज हैपेंड फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम इन द हिस्ट्री ऑफ इंडिया दैट अ स्टेट हैज बीन क्रिएटेड बाय द पीपल, दैट इज बाय द नेशन, ताकि वो फेल ना हो. सो शुड वी नॉट अंडरस्टैंड द पॉजिटिव थिंग्स, द नेगेटिव थिंग्स ऑफ द प्रीवियस स्टेट्स विच हैव बीन प्रेजेंट इन आवर लैंड्स? That is why. So that we can learn from the past successes and the past failures. वो state क्यों चले गए? क्योंकि ये पहली बार हुआ है. तो whether the state which is formed by the people of India, whether it will survive or it will also wither away, like so many states have come and gone. These are all states, right? For example, when you're talking about, let's say, Mahajanpadas, they are kingdoms. Kingdoms are such states whose head of state is a king, family of king, where blood decides who will be the next king. Voting does not take place. Kingdoms, they came and gone. Then Mauryan dynasty came and gone. Then Gupta empire. What is difference between empire and kingdom? Empire is summation of kingdoms. Kingdom is small, empire is multiple kingdoms, right? So empire, Harsha dynasty, again empire only, right? So therefore you see it is history of state, South Indian kingdoms. So can I say ancient is nothing but history of states? एंड हम क्यों पढ़ रहे हैं वो मैंने आपको बताया. सेकेंड थिंग, नेशन इज सुप्रीम, पीपल आर सुप्रीम फॉर अस. हमारे लिए महात्मा गांधी बाद में आते हैं, सबसे पहले भारत के लोग आते हैं. नेशन इज सुप्रीम, राइट? दैट इज वॉट मॉडर्न नेशन मीन्स. नेशन इज समेशन ऑफ पीपल हु फील वन, इक्वल एंड सुप्रीम, राइट? सो एंड कॉमन मैन. मूवी वेडनेसडे तो देखी होगी आपने. हैव यू सीन मूवी वेडनेसडे? देखो यार, मूवी देखते हो? वेडनेसडे देखो यार. Have you seen how many? Anyone has seen movie Wednesday? 1, 2, 3 है ना? तो देखो उसको. तो उसमें क्या प्रॉब्लम है? कॉमन मैन इज अ मूवी अबाउट वेडनेसडे, राइट? मतलब कॉमन मैन, मतलब वेडनेसडे इज अ मूवी अबाउट कॉमन मैन. उसमें क्या होता है बेसिकली दैट, मतलब एक दिन randomly the Mumbai police gets to know that bombs are planted in different parts. So they try to identify that which big terrorist is behind this, and they ultimately find out that there is this layman, just normal person, and then they get into a conversation, Anupam Kher, Nasiruddin Shah, and the common man keeps on saying this thing कि I am old age and तुम अपना क्या काम कर रहे हो, that nowadays when I go to job, है ना, my wife she is totally in fear that whether I'll be able to come back or not, whether there will be a bomb blast or not, है ना, where is my taxpayer money going? So you know what, common man does not want to be MP, MLA, minister. Common man does not want to be bureaucrat also. Common man does not aspire, wants to, but practically चीज़ें ऐसी होती हैं that structure the society is like this, that common man does not want to be military general, IAS officer, MLA, mantri, judge. Na, common man wants 3 securities: economic security, physical security, socio cultural security. ये 3 चीज़ें चाहिए, और ये 3 चीज़ें अगर उसको नहीं मिली, जैसे in the case of movie Wednesday, physical security was not there, then the common man revolts, right? Pre-1857 revolts is a topic in modern history. Why? Because land revenue, that is taxation, was very, very high. So economic security was under stress, right? So these 3 securities are most important. Economic security, physical security, and socio-cultural security. Why did 1857 revolt happen? Because common man felt that my religion is under threat. Socio-cultural security was under threat. Why pre-1857 revolts by the people happened? Because economic security was under threat. Religion was under threat. Right? So common man does not want other things. It wants only 3 things: economic security, physical security, and social cultural security. मतलब common man के लिए क्या important है कि भाई taxation system क्या है. Common man के लिए क्या important? भाई कोई the physical security वो तो क्या चलो easy हो जाता है. Social culture, my way of life, which includes religion, my language, my art and culture. मतलब जैसे मैं एक आम जिंदगी जीते हैं, ठीक है. तो यही 2 फोकस है. आप देखिए सोसाइटी, ठीक है, जिसके अंदर आप डिफरेंट पीरियड्स में देख रहे हैं. प्लस आप देखिए रिलीजन बहुत महत्वपूर्ण था. जब तक कम्युनिज्म आया उससे पहले रिलीजन वाज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इन दी नॉर्मल लाइफ. सो देयरफॉर सी, कॉमन मैन पे फोकस है. कॉमन मैन हिंदुइज्म फॉलो कर रहा है, कॉमन मैन बुद्धिज्म फॉलो कर रहा है, जैनिज्म. तो कॉमन मैन की लाइफ में क्या चेंजेस आए ये हम जानना चाहते हैं, क्योंकि हमारे लिए नेशन इंपॉर्टेंट था. तो नेशन को हमें समझना चाहिए. वी शुड अंडरस्टैंड नेशन. सिमिलरली तो ये तो किंगडम्स ही हैं. तो मतलब इस पूरे उसमें बेसिकली 2 ही बातें, हिस्ट्री ऑफ स्टेट्स एंड हिस्ट्री ऑफ थिंग्स विच इम्पैक्ट कॉमन मैन. कॉमन मैन, इकोनॉमिक सिक्योरिटी एंड सोशो कल्चर सिक्योरिटी. फिजिकल तो क्या चलो ठीक है ना, तो कंटेंट उसमें फिजिकल में कम आया, कोई फेमीन हो गया या कुछ और हो गया, बट अदरवाइज तो ये 2 चीजें इसमें है ना. अब किसने क्या, इसी पे फोकस रहेगा. That's why there is focus on art and culture, because art and culture is abhivakti of the common man's things. Similarly, you look at the medieval. So in the case of medieval also this is there. Ascent, मतलब rise and fall of dynasties. Dynasties are also basically such states which are ruled by a family, right? Dynasties like Delhi Sultanate, Vijayanagar Empire, Bahmani Sultanate in Deccan. Deccan means Bombay and Hyderabad region today, Maharashtra and Hyderabad region. Mughal Empire, ठीक है. तो ये तो हिस्ट्री ऑफ स्टेट्स हो गया मिडिवल पीरियड में, ठीक है. एंड देन मतलब यहाँ पे हमारा फोकस रहेगा, अच्छा व्हाट वाज द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ द स्टेट, व्हाट वाज द टेरिटरी, व्हिच वॉर्स वर फॉट बाय दिस पर्टिकुलर स्टेट टू ऐड मोर टेरिटरी, व्हाट वर द स्टेट्स इकोनॉमिक पॉलिसीज, है ना. वी ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड द स्टेट. सोशो कल्चरल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन, कल्चर, राइट. ओनली 3 थिंग्स आर रिक्वायर्ड बाय द कॉमन मैन: इकोनॉमिक सिक्योरिटी, फिजिकल सिक्योरिटी, सोशो कल्चरल. तो ठीक है, तो हम दोबारा देख रहे हैं कि तब बुद्धिज्म था, जैनिज्म था, अब देखिए भक्ति और सूफी मूवमेंट. मतलब आम आदमी की लाइफ में जो सोशो कल्चरल एस्पेक्ट है उसमें क्या बदला भाई, दोबारा वही निकला, है ना. तो किसने कहा दैट साइंस इज नॉट देयर इन ह्यूमैनिटीज? देयर इज साइंस. फॉर्मूला मैंने आपको बताया ना, 2 स्लाइड्स चले गए, दोनों में वही फॉर्मूला है, right? And similarly is the case in the case of medieval, in the case of modern history. So when you talk about modern history,
Does the vast syllabus of general studies for the UPSC prelims overwhelm you to initiate your preparation for the civil services examination? Is your apprehension and self-doubt coming in the way of your success in joining the civil services? Comprehend your preparation for UPSC Prelims 2025 with the Fast Track course targeting general studies with innovative curriculum, revision and mentorship. Starting from 19th November at 1 p.m., the course offers coverage of UPSC GS Prelims subjects, dedicated mentorship support and guidance for performance maximization, access to PT 365 classes for current affairs preparation, sectional mini tests for regular assessment and performance, personalized student portal to access study material, access to live and online classes. Enroll today and make prelims your stepping stone to proceed to the UPSC mains. Completing the syllabus without proper knowledge of current affairs will not take you far in the UPSC Civil Services examination. Regulate and transform your preparation with complete coverage of news of relevance. Get a concrete hold of current affairs for UPSC CSE with Vision IS Monthly Current Affairs Revision Program starting from 20th September at 5 p.m. The program is your guide to get comprehensive news on one platform sourced through relevant resources such as The Hindu, Indian Express, Economic Times, PIB, Yojana and others. Enroll for complete coverage of current affairs including Indian polity and constitution, economy, international relations, and more. Comprehensive assessment of preparation through MCQs and mains-oriented questions. Expert support through personalized mentoring and online doubt resolution.
Art and culture में slightly more focus is there, right, on this art aspect. Okay? So basically whole UPSC syllabus is like this only. History is like general studies, where primary focus on state history and secondary focus on socio-cultural aspects. When we need some more extra detailed focus, let's say on the economic aspects, so economy एक option एक subject हो जाता है. When we need more focus on physical security, तो internal security एक option हो जाता है, एक subject हो जाता है. तो सारे subject actually ऐसे ही हैं कि level of focus ज़्यादा है तो चलो उसके लिए एक separate एक subject ही बना देते हैं. ठीक है ना. पॉलिटी है तो उसमें क्या है कि स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ द स्टेट के ऊपर ज़्यादा फोकस है, तो उसमें आप फिर संविधान और वो सब बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छे तरीके से डिटेल में कि आज वाला अच्छे से कर लेते हैं. अल्टीमेटली फोकस इज दैट ओनली. द होल यूपीएससी सिलेबस ये है. ठीक है ना. मैं इस बात को जानने का फायदा ये भी है दैट फ्रॉम टुमारो वेन एवर यू विल रीड न्यूज पेपर, इफ यू आर टू हैबिट ऑफ रीडिंग न्यूज पेपर, सो देयरफॉर यू विल बी एबल टू आइडेंटिफाई दैट विच पर्टिकुलर आर्टिकल्स आर इंपॉर्टेंट एंड विच पर्टिकुलर आर्टिकल्स आर नॉट इंपॉर्टेंट. राइट. सो थिंग्स विच सिग्निफिकेंटली इम्पैक्ट द स्टेट, its organizational structure, its functions, right, its territory, and things which significantly impact the people and which will impact the people's life in long term. So therefore those newspaper articles, they become important, right? So usually like that's the thought process which is there. So Khair, this is there. I'm not an expert in the art and culture, but yes, the theme of things is this only. आम आदमी क्या करता है? गाने गाता है, नाचता है, आर्ट करता है, आर्किटेक्चर करता है. ठीक है. तो वही उसकी लाइफ है, तो उसकी लाइफ के बारे में वो है. ठीक है ना. तो खैर अब आते हैं कोर डोमेन में जहाँ से ज़्यादा मार्क्स भी आते हैं, दैट इज मॉडर्न इंडियन हिस्ट्री. ठीक है. एंड योर वर्ल्ड हिस्ट्री एंड ऑल. राइट. सो व्हाट इज द ब्रॉड थिंग विच इज देयर. नाउ लेट अस गो इनटू दिस. हाउ डू वी डू बेटर देन द बुक्स. आवर सिलेबस इन मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री बिगिंस फ्रॉम 1700s, right, or middle of 18th century, that means 1750s. The books, they tell me that decline of Mughals is like the first topic, because the last topic in medieval was Mughal Empire. So first topic of modern becomes decline of Mughals. ठीक है. ठीक है. वो इस sorry, I don't accept. If I accept this as a topic, तो अभी जो हमने आधा घंटा बिताया उसका फायदा क्या हुआ. सो लेट्स बी बेटर देन द बुक्स. टॉपिक इज डिक्लाइन ऑफ मुगल स्टेट, है ना. डिक्लाइन ऑफ मुगल स्टेट. तो हमें जानना होगा दैट व्हाट वाज द स्टेट स्ट्रक्चर, कौन कानून बना रहा था, कौन मंत्री होता था, है जुडिशरी का क्या सिस्टम था, ये लोग टैक्स कैसे कलेक्ट करते थे, है ना, उसके क्या प्लस थे, क्या माइनस थे, क्या कमियां थी उसके अंदर, व्हाट वर द प्लस, व्हाट वर द माइनसेस ऑफ देयर स्टेट स्ट्रक्चर. For example, here we try to study Mansabdari system. Mansabdari system was basically there. Mansabdars are like ministers, right? And minister is not just minister; he is also lawmaker, he is also judge, he is also war commander, right? He is also bureaucrat, right? Everything, right? ऐसा. So basically, decline of Mughal state is the topic, right? So we try to think about this thing. Acha, there are two other principles which are there. I will tell you because time is relatively less, right? राइट, वन प्रिंसिपल इज, आपको लगेगा मैं फिलोसफिकल हो रहा हूँ, बट वही है, लाइफ इज अबाउट पावर. ठीक है, लाइफ इज अबाउट पावर एंड दिस फॉर्मूला इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड ट्रस्ट मी, इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फ्रॉम द बिगिनिंग ऑफ द सिलेबस मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री टिल द एंड ऑफ द सिलेबस. ठीक है, बिकॉज इट हेल्प्स अस अंडरस्टैंडिंग मेनी थिंग्स. एंड पावर इज इक्वल टू इकोनॉमिक पावर प्लस मिलिट्री पावर प्लस पॉलिटिकल पावर प्लस सोशल पावर. इकोनॉमिक पावर, मिलिट्री पावर, पॉलिटिकल पावर, सोशल पावर. These are the four powers which are there. Fifth power is spiritual power. Right? And the person who says, I'm not after power, that person is, क्या हो सकता है, सन्यासी. वो तो he is after nuclear power. वो तो सबसे ज़्यादा after power है. राय कह रहे कि तू you are stupid. वो आप लोगों को बेवकूफ़ समझता है क्या? इंसान ने पैसा बनाया और तुम पैसे के पीछे भाग रहे हो. मैं तो उसके पीछे हूँ जिसने अपन को बनाया. Spiritual power. The person who is spiritual, he is maximum after power. वो तो तुम्हें तुच्छ समझता है और हम हैं भी तुच्छ. क्यों बनाया तो उसी ने. लाइफ इज अबाउट पावर. कोई ब्यूरोक्रेट कहता है that I'll take only 1 rupees as salary, है ना, I'll be totally honest, I'll work over extra hours, है ना. He is after social power. Social power is love in the hearts of the people for you. Fan following. Social power, है ना. So economic power plus political power plus military power plus social power plus spiritual power, that these are the components of power, right? Next sentence that comes, अच्छा एक और है, next sentence that comes into operation is, with one power you can get another power and with loss of one power you can lose other powers. There is a correlation between these powers, right? For example, if there is a big controversy over some negatives of, let's say, some very rich family, है ना, then its shares may come to decline. Why? Because company was run by the family, and if there are family disputes, marital disputes in the family, ठीक है ना, तो therefore shares come down. अब मुझे नहीं पता, जब से रेमंड के जो मालिक हैं उनका कोई डिवोर्स वोर्स का आया है तो रेमंड के शेयर धड़ाधड़ नीचे जा रहे हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि वो उन्होंने 60% वेल्थ क्लेम कर ली डिवोर्स में, है ना. सी, मतलब some social power got down, so economic power is coming down. Second, political funding. If you are economically powerful, through political funding, you can get political power. Yes or not? In the British times, certain parliamentary seats, they were purchasable. Robert Clive, who looted India, he fought elections for member of parliament because you can give money and you can purchase, ability to fight in the election. मतलब rotten borough seats बोलते थे उनको. तो मतलब ये तो established है that with money power you can get political power. So with economic power you can get political power. Plus you tell me any country, like Pakistan, any country which is not having economic power, can it stay militarily, can it maintain a strong military for a long period of time? आज के टाइम पे ऐसा बोला जाता है that Pakistan has weapons but does not have ammunition for fighting for 3 days also. गोली बारूद तो चाहिए, है ना. So therefore without strong economy you cannot have strong military. And see, as the Indian economy has risen over the past decades, over a period of time, now we have strong military. Without economic power, with economic power, you can get military power. With economic power, you can get United Nations Security Council, so you can get political power at the world level also. Right? Patanjali, Baba Ramdev ji had social power. Yoga कराते थे, कराते हैं. Got economic power, how? Launch Patanjali. अगर तू लॉन्च करता मतंजलि, मैं तो नहीं लेता तेरी टूथपेस्ट. But because Baba Ramdev ji had social power, so therefore everyone is ready to give him economic power also. Life is about power. So therefore because you are about to start your UPSC journey, तो ये भी एक बार सोचते रहना that for which power you are most suited. पर्सन जॉब फिट अगर हो गया ना, पर्सन पावर फिट हो गया अगर, तो कोई टेंशन नहीं है. तुम कोई भी एक पावर बहुत अच्छे से अर्जित कर लो, बाकी सारी पावर चुंबक की तरह तुम्हारे पास आके चिपक जाएंगी। ठीक है, स्टेट्स की भी यही पावर होती है, इकोनॉमिक पावर प्लस पॉलिटिकल पावर प्लस सोशल पावर प्लस पॉलिटिकल पावर, दिस। ठीक है, third sentence which comes into operation is, it is in the nature of power to centralize itself. It is in the nature of the power to centralize itself, right? तो मतलब पावर एक आत्मा की तरह वो ढूंढती रहती है, but it centralizes itself only in a strong personality, right? So it keeps on, and that personality can be institutional personality created by constitution, right? कि आपने कानून ही ऐसा बना दिया that central government will always be very very powerful, let's say, or it can be person, right? And whenever the personality will weaken, then power will leave you. And it will either go vertically downwards or it will be horizontally replaced. मतलब these are some concepts, right? And basically पूरी जिंदगी में यही चलता आ रहा है अभी तक, मतलब ऐसा. It is in the nature of the power to centralize itself. Strong personality comes, centralizes power. Then strong personality goes, power goes away. Then another strong personality comes, then power centralizes. He goes away or she goes away. Power again gets decentralized. Then another strong. यही हो रहा है, sinusoidal curve चल रही पूरी history में. That's how most of the history is about those people who have been able to centralize power, either heroes or villains. History is about Napoleons. History is about Hitler. History is about Gandhi. History is about Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. History is about Jawaharlal Nehru. History is about Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Right? History is about, in the social sector, who was able to centralize power, Swami Vivekananda. History is about Swami Dayanand Saraswati. Why? Because they were able to centralize power. In different kind of powers, they were able to centralize. History is about, like economic history, you talk about, East India Company. Why? Because it was a company which was able to centralize what kind of form of power? Economic power. And with that economic power, it also got political power, became a ruler in India. Right? So history is all about those people who were able to centralize power. चाहे हीरो हो, चाहे विलन हो. फ्रैंकलिन डी रूजवेल्ट को याद किया जाता है, 4 बार प्रेसिडेंट बने थे. सब लोग इतने परेशान हो गए कि एक कानून निकाल दिया उन्होंने कि 2 बार से ज्यादा नहीं देखो. मैं तब से गाना सुन रहा हूँ, अपना टाइम आएगा, अपना टाइम आएगा. अरे तू कब जाएगा? तभी तो अपना टाइम आएगा. 4 बार वही प्रेसिडेंट बनेगा, हमें भी तो चाहिए मौका. तो रूल निकाल दिया कि 2 बार से ज्यादा प्रेसिडेंट नहीं बनोगे. 4 टाइम्स प्रेसिडेंट फ्रैंकलिन डी रूजवेल्ट, है ना. ग्लैडस्टोन, खुशपत्थर, ग्लैडस्टोन, 4 टाइम ब्रिटिश प्राइम मिनिस्टर. हिस्ट्री इज अबाउट दोज पीपल हु आर एबल टू सेंट्रलाइज डिफरेंट फॉर्म्स ऑफ पावर. ठीक है, उन्हीं के बारे में पढ़ते हैं हम लोग. राइट, एंड इट इज इन द महाराजा रणजीत सिंह. एनीवन फ्रॉम द सिख कम्युनिटी हियर? महाराजा रणजीत सिंह, राइट, सेंट्रलाइज्ड पावर. बट वंस महाराजा रणजीत सिंह was no more in 1839, after that weak personalities came to rule the Sikh state. Within a decade or so, by 1849, Punjab was annexed by the Britishers. Sikh state gone. Till Third Battle of Panipat 1761, strong Peshwas were there in the Marathas, right? But many of these strong important leaders, died either in the Third Battle of Panipat or immediately after the Third Battle of Panipat. And as a result, after that, the decline of Marathas began. Decline of Maratha state began. Okay? So therefore decline happened. Right? So it is in the nature of the powers to centralize it. So ultimately, a company came and set up an empire in India. ये sinusoidal curve ऐसा चलता रहता है. ठीक है ना? So this is like the basic thing which is there, and on that particular premise, let us look at the syllabus of the modern history. So here we see that Mughal personality weakened after 1707. Aurangzeb, was a strong, he centralized power in a very strong manner. But after him, weak personalities came. Right? I'm not talking about positive or negative. I'm not getting into that whether Aurangzeb was a positive person or a negative person. Right? But I'm talking about this thing, centralization of power. ठीक है ना. तो औरंगजेब मोस्टली तो नेगेटिव पर्सनालिटी थी उसकी, बिकॉज सोशल पावर बहुत नेगेटिव चलेगी उसकी. सोशल पावर मतलब जिजिया लगा दिया, है ना. सोशल पावर मतलब कि टेम्पल्स को जैसे कुछ को डिस्ट्रॉय किया, तो लोगों के मन में प्यार कम हो गया, है ना. तो सोशल पावर बहुत डिक्लाइन किया, प्लस कॉन्टिन्यूसली वॉर्स लड़ा वो, तो इकोनॉमिक पावर डाउन आ गया क्योंकि वॉर एक्सपेंडिचर वॉज वेरी वेरी हाई. तो स्टेट का पावर है इकोनॉमिक पावर प्लस सोशल पावर प्लस पॉलिटिकल पावर प्लस मिलिट्री पावर. इकोनॉमिक पावर नहीं है तो मिलिट्री पावर भी कहाँ से आएगा. तो बेसिकली औरंगजेब लेड द फाउंडेशन ऑफ डिक्लाइन ऑफ मुगल स्टेट, है ना. तो खैर, तो पावर विल लीव. अब पावर के अंदर एक क्षमता होती है, इट कैन डिवाइड इटसेल्फ इनटू स्मॉल पार्ट्स, एंड तुम्हारी जो स्टेटस है उसके हिसाब से तुम्हारे अंदर आ जाएगी. ठीक है, मतलब कि there was rise of powers, regional powers, right? So there were successor states. Successor states were there, right? Then there were what you call as rebel states. Look at the word very, very carefully. You know, in UPSC, you have to behave like a lawyer. Already autonomous states. Already autonomous states. Already autonomous means even when the Mughal power was very, very strong, very, very deeply centralized, even then these states were already autonomous. These were like Rajputs and Mysore and Travancore. Travancore is today's Kerala. Rebel states, two words are there. State is organization, though or the organizations which were set up to rule over a territory and its people, and the method of establishment was rebelling against the Mughals. So therefore such states came to be known as rebel states. मतलब लड़के स्थापित हुए. तो इसमें नंबर 1 पे मराठास हैं, उसके बाद सिख हैं, जाट्स हैं, एंड 2 अफगान किंगडम्स ऑफ रोहिलखंड बरेली, रोहिलखंड फारुखाबाद, ठीक. एंड सिमिलरली सक्सेसर स्टेट्स, सक्सेसर होता है उत्तराधिकारी. सो विद इन दी फैमिली of Mughals, family does not mean blood family here, but within the Mughal system, those who were certain powerful employees, they said, hey Mughal ruler, Mughal emperor, वचनीय मेरा शासन. वो डायलॉग बाहुबली में ही ठीक था, तुम मत बोलो अब. हाँ, तो इन बंगाल दैट विल हैपन विच आई वांट, नॉट योर्स. इन अवध दैट विल हैपन विच पर्सन नंबर 2 वांट्स, नॉट मुगल एम्परर. इन हैदराबाद दैट विल हैपन व्हाट निजाम वांट्स, not Mughal emperor. So therefore these are successor, these were employees of the Mughals, and therefore they started establishing these states. So therefore they came to be known as successor states. Right now it is in the nature of the power to centralize itself. तो क्या इनमें से कोई था which will be able to establish all India level empire? एक थे मराठास. तो we discussed the rise of Marathas, but then third battle of Panipat happened. So बस बहुत close पहुंचे but could not, right? So therefore third battle of Panipat kind of like becomes थर्ड बैटल ऑफ पानीपत 1761, यू नो, और वहाँ तक हम पढ़ते हैं उसको, ठीक है. अब इट इज़ द नेचर ऑफ द पावर टू सेंट्रलाइज, चल तो कोई ना कोई तो आएगा, राइट. सो देयरफॉर केम ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी. A company was able to establish. Company is such an organization whose primary motive is profit motive. State is an organization whose motive is territory motive and people motive. NGO is an organization whose motive is social motive. Clear बताता है, not for profit. तो क्या मोटिव है जी आपका? सोशल मोटिव. पॉलिटिकल पार्टी इज एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हुज मोटिव इज पावर ओवर स्टेट, राइट. सो लाइफ इज अबाउट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस, राइट. एवरी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हैज अ क्लियर मैंडेट, राइट. सो कंपनीज देयर मैंडेट इज नॉट बेसिकली टू एस्टैब्लिश, यू नो, पावर ओवर स्टेट. सो हाउ अ कंपनी गॉट ट्रांसफॉर्म्ड इनटू एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन विच इज स्टेट लाइक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. ये एक जर्नी है. बने तो आप थे बिजनेस करने के लिए, पर आप शासन करने लग गए. ये कैसे हुआ जी? क्यों हुआ? Right, so we discussed rise of the East India Company, where we discussed multiple wars also, and East India Company ultimately conquered 63% of territory of India, and where 78% of population of India lived, and 37% territory of India was ruled by the Indian rulers. Right, this kind of situation it was there. So we discussed rise of East India Company, and then we also discussed rule of East India Company. Common man does not want to be MP, MLA, minister. Common man wants economic security, physical security, and socio-cultural security. And the rule of East India Company was such that these three securities came under threat. And as a result, there was response by the people. This rule was negative, so there was a response by the people. And people, they responded in different formats. People responded in the form of pre-1857, 1857, and post-1857 revolts. जो कॉमन मैन था उसने हथियार उठा लिए. क्यों? ये 3 सिक्योरिटीज वर नॉट एंश्योर्ड बाय देम, ठीक. पर ये हम फेल हो गए. तो फिर दूसरा तरीका आया मॉडर्न पॉलिटिक्स का, जैसे पॉलिटिक्स आज के समय पे होती है, ठीक है ना, इलेक्टोरल पॉलिटिक्स एंड ऑल, राइट. सो देयरफॉर देयर आल्सो, यू नो, मॉडर्न INM, उसको बोलते हैं मॉडर्न इंडियन नेशनल मूवमेंट. और एक और तीसरा रिस्पॉन्स आया, उसको हम कह सकते हैं which is related to day-to-day life of people, right? That is socio-cultural life of people, and that topic is called social reforms, where we discuss about Raja Rammohn Roy, Swami Dayanand Saraswati, Swami Vivekananda, right? Sir Syed Ahmed Khan, etc., etc., right? Social reforms, right? Social reforms basically mean what should be the relationship between husband and wife, which marriages should be called legal, which marriages should be called illegal, whether divorces should be allowed or not, what should be the parent child relationship, ये सामाजिक रिश्ते हैं, whether there should be casteism, how to get rid of casteism, मतलब ये सामाजिक जो रिश्ते हैं उनके बारे में, सोशल रिलेशंस है ना। तो ऐसा, तो मॉडर्न इंडियन नेशनल मूवमेंट में ये दो भागों में डिवाइडेड है। इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस was set up in 1885, राइट। क्यों इंपॉर्टेंट है इतना? Why everyone knows that Indian National Congress was set up in 1885? You know why? Because it was first All India organization. Organization बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। Organization is the key word which you should take away, है ना? Organization, because it was All India organization, है ना? It, you know, so ऐसा। तो एक है pre 1885 and second aspect is post 1885, like 1885 onwards. So here, we people, that is Western educated middle class, right? If you're trying to get political power through modern means, that is making speeches, filing petitions and these things, right? Democratic reforms we wanted. But we were unorganized. In 1885, we became organized, right? So in 1885, Indian National Congress is set up. Here also, arrival of Gandhiji in 1915, but he started non-cooperation movement in 1920. So UPSC gives a lot of importance to this year 1920, right? So 1920 onwards, it is known as Mahatma Gandhi or Gandhian era. And pre-1920, where our focus is on a group of politicians, Naramdal, Garamdal, moderates and extremists. And of course, a third branch, which we call revolutionaries. Revolutionaries like Chapekar brothers, 1890s, revolutionaries like, Bismillah Khan, Ashfaqullah Khan, ठीक है ना, राम प्रसाद बिस्मिल, ठीक है ना, तो उसके बाद भगत सिंह, चंद्रशेखर आज़ाद, सुखदेव, राजगुरु, है ना, सूर्य सेन, ऑल ऑफ दीज पीपल, नेताजी सुभाष चंद्र बोस, है ना, ऐसा। तो वो भी एक रेवोल्यूशनरीज वाला एक एलिमेंट है, ठीक है ना। तो मॉडरेट्स, इनके कुछ मेथड्स थे, ये लव लेटर्स लिखते थे बस, है ना, व्हाट्सएप पे मैसेज छोड़ दिया। एक्सट्रीमिस्ट जो है वो घर के बाहर पहुंच जाते थे, ठीक है, नीचे लड़ाई हो रही है, दिस काइंड ऑफ सिनेरियो। तो स्ट्रीट प्रोटेस्ट्स बाय द एक्सट्रीमिस्ट्स, मॉडरेट्स, मोर पेन काइंड ऑफ पीपल। महात्मा गांधी, व्हाई महात्मा गांधी इज महात्मा? There are two kind of, usually there are 2-3 kind of people who become famous. For example, some people are very good orators, right? Or otherwise they are very good, what you call as leaders. They have a lot of charisma. Charisma is one thing. Second thing is idea. Some people are famous because they have brilliant ideas. People like Steve Jobs. He is famous for brilliant ideas. And third kind of people are organization men, like Tim Cook. Tim Cook is Apple CEO, right? So, but is he that famous like Steve Jobs? No. Why? Because he's a brilliant manager. But ideas were of Steve Jobs. But see, both have been able to do well in their life. Bill Gates, organization man. Steve Jobs, idea man. Okay. Steve Jobs was thrown out of Apple. काय का organization man. Could not handle organizational politics also. Then set up Pixar, another big idea, right? So amazing, right? Why Mahatma Gandhi is Mahatma? Because he was a charisma man, plus he was a organization man, plus he was a spiritual man, plus he was a idea man. And when so many qualities they are in one person, तो महात्मा ही होंगे और कौन होंगे? So how to become great? Who are great men? Great men are those who are organization man plus idea man plus charisma man, है ना। तो ये जो पावर डिफरेंट, जो जितनी पावर को सेंट्रलाइज कर पाया अपने अंदर, वो ग्रेट हो जाता है, वो महात्मा हो जाता है, ठीक है ना। एंड महात्मा गांधी वॉज एबल टू कन्विंस ऑल द डिफरेंट सेक्शंस ऑफ द पीपल टू फाइट फॉर freedom, right? So that is why Mahatma Gandhi is Mahatma. So we study all of these things, and we also, there is this thing of constitutional history also. That is, our constitutions were drafted by the British Parliament from 1773 onwards, right? So there is Regulating Act of 1773, Pitt's India Act of 1784, Charter Act of 1793, Charter Act of 1813, Charter Act of 1833, Charter Act of 1853, Government of India Act of 1858, right? Then you have Indian Councils Act of 1861, Indian Councils Act of 1892, Indian Councils Act of 1909, Government of India Act of 1919, Government of India Act of 1935, Indian Independence Act of 1947, then Constitution of India 1950. So therefore, if you really want to understand the Constitution of India, that is polity, then if you really understand the constitutional history, then understanding the Constitution of India becomes like a cakewalk. मतलब relatively, मतलब at least उसका 30-40% पार्ट हम बहुत अच्छे से समझ सकते हैं, ठीक है ना? तो एक वो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल जर्नी भी हम उसमें कवर करते हैं, ठीक है? विद रिस्पेक्ट टू वर्ल्ड हिस्ट्री, अगर हम वर्ल्ड हिस्ट्री को देखें, वर्ल्ड हिस्ट्री भी वही है. हु इज अ सुपर पावर? सुपर पावर is a state, that is an organization which is able to control either directly or indirectly the territory of the earth and the people of the earth. That is superpower, right? Superpower right now, US. Rising superpower, China, right? So therefore, that is also history of superpowers. ठीक है. और बाकी यूनाइटेड नेशन अगर असलियत में पावरफुल होता, राइट, सो यूनाइटेड नेशन लीगली इज द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन विच कैन रूल द होल ऑफ द टेरिटरी ऑफ अर्थ एंड इट्स पीपल. बट द रियल सुपर पावर्स, इंडिविजुअल स्टेट्स, they don't want to give their power to UN, right? United Nations, nation is summation of people who feel one, equal and supreme. So United Nations है ना ऐसा. So खैर उस तरीके से पावर है. तो पावर डायनेमिक्स में we study different things. तो एक तो multiple things are there. अब टाइम उतना बचा नहीं है तो वर्बली बताता हूँ, ठीक है? वर्ल्ड हिस्ट्री का, वर्ल्ड हिस्ट्री से आजकल उतने क्वेश्चन है, बट इट्स सो मच मोर इंटरेस्टिंग कंपेयर टू मॉडर्न, राइट? तो when we talk about world history, so world history it is about what you call as superpower status. So we begin with, for example, how the different superpowers got established, right? So the first superpower we talk about is Britain. So certain questions come to mind, that how Britain was able to centralize power over the whole world. Now power is equal to economic power plus military power plus social power plus political power. So the key thing was, for example, first military power. So we discussed 7-year global war where Britain and France, they were fighting for superpower status and Britishers were victorious, right? अगर पंचांग निकाला जाए, मतलब ऐसा एस्ट्रोलॉजी में अगर आप बिलीव करते हो, मैं थोड़ा बहुत करता हूँ, बहुत ज़्यादा तो नहीं, आई बिलीव इन एस्ट्रोलॉजी, है ना? बिकॉज सो मेनी थिंग्स आर, सम वियर्ड थिंग्स हैपन इन लाइफ विच इज़ वेरी वियर्ड, वेरी अमेजिंग थिंग्स हैपन इन लाइफ, ठीक है? सैड थिंग्स ऑल्सो, गुड थिंग्स ऑल्सो, यू डू नॉट नो ये कहाँ से हो गया, ठीक है ना? तो खैर, तो अगर एस्ट्रोलॉजिकल चार्ट निकाला जाए ऑफ ब्रिटेन, देन 1750 से लेकर 1765 वर द बेस्ट ईयर्स फॉर ब्रिटेन. पॉलिटिकल हेजेमनी 1756 to 63 defeated France, established itself number 1 military power. Economic power, industrial revolution began from 1750, continued, completed by 1850, but began in 1750. Battle of Plassey 1757, conquest in the richest land of the world, right, began in 1757. Richest of the second richest, right? India, China have always been number 1 or number 2 and ऊपर नीचे होते रहते हैं, right? So 1757 happened here, right? So it's like amazing for them, right? 1750s से लेकर 70. Battle of Buxar 1764 got Diwani of the richest Suba of India, that is Bengal, in 1765. That's why I say 1750 to 65, these 15 years, you look at world history, you look at modern history, brilliant for Britain. Ability to concentrate economic power plus ability to dominate the oceans, right, and military power. Okay, so we study all of these things in world history, especially from the 7-year global war perspective. Then people, a new kind of state got established called republic. So therefore we study about US, we study about American Revolution 1765 to 1783. It was the first republic where it was the first, where head of the state will not be decided by blood, it will be decided by the people through voting, right? Representative of public is the head of the state, RIP public. Representative of public is the head of the state, RIP public, right? ऐसा. But ये कोरोना वायरस ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी था. फर्स्ट डेमोक्रेसी ऑफ द वर्ल्ड इंग्लैंड, 1600s. England was an island. So majority of the kings where are, they are in European mainland. So they are thinking जंगल में मोर नाचा किसने देखा? No problem. This coronavirus of democracy very addictive. है ना, एक बार चस्का लग जाए तो छूटता नहीं, है ना. This virus traveled, है ना, across the ocean, traveled to Northern America, resulted in American Revolution by 1783. अभी भी the European mainland kings, they thought, अरे जंगल में मोर नाचा किसने देखा? But then this virus crossed the Atlantic Ocean, and the coastal area is France, resulted in French Revolution 1789 within 6 years. Now it became a pandemic, and now containment zone, now vaccine लगाने में लग गए लोग, है ना. So therefore for 23 years the monarchs of Europe, they fought against France to ensure that French Revolution is undone. So and that's so rise of Napoleon also, from 1797 till your 1815 Napoleon. So we discuss about Napoleon, his wars, his contributions, right, plus and minus both, right. But still Napoleon was defeated. But ये चस्का ऐसा छूटा नहीं. In 1830 also people of whole of Europe revolted. Whole of Europe for democracy. In 1840s also, 1848 also people of Europe revolted again. And ultimately in France in 1870, finally a stable republic was there. है ना? Parallelly nationalism was rising. है ना? Because nation is summation of people who feel one, equal and supreme. So if people are supreme, so how can a family decide who will be head of state? We will decide. So nationalism was rising. So therefore, we are all Germans. Why we are divided into different kingdoms? ताकि these 300 families, they can enjoy power. That's why. So unification of Germany, 1870. Unification of Italy, 1870. A nation is summation of people who feel one, equal and supreme. Supreme. I am German nation. You are British nation. You are Italian nation. Who is better? I will beat you. तू आगे निकल गया, British nation. IR. Let's do IR, Industrial Revolution. For Industrial Revolution, what do you require? You require machines plus you require raw materials, right? And you require people who can buy your product, so they give you money. So that resulted in race for colonies. Bhag milka bhag, right? Scramble for Africa. Luto. Why? Because you want to be number one nation economically. We also want to do IR. That resulted in World War I. The conflicts resulted in World War I, right? World War I के बाद आया ग्रेट डिप्रेशन 1929. वर्ल्ड वॉर 1 के बड़े सारे कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस थे, तो हिटलर भी आया, तो वर्ल्ड वॉर 2. तो यूपीएससी यूजुअली अभी तक तो यूपीएससी ने अपने आप को वर्ल्ड वॉर 2 तक रिस्ट्रिक्ट रखा है. बट हेयर ऑल्सो हिस्ट्री ऑफ पीपल, हिस्ट्री ऑफ नेशनलिज्म, हिस्ट्री ऑफ कोलोनियलिज्म, हिस्ट्री ऑफ सुपर पावर्स, राइट. दीज आर द थिंग्स दैट वी डिस्कस एंड व्हाट वाज इट्स इम्पैक्ट ऑन इंडिया. On that note, I end my session, right? So therefore, that's how we try to approach history in this particular manner, right? So history is conceptual, right? We do not teach history the way it is in the books. We do a lot of reorganization. We always try to focus on the why, right? So that's how we try to study, and there is a lot of logic in history. So history, the job of teacher is that she should be able to make any subject which he or he teaches a very favorite subject if possible, at least for the 50% of the students or 30% of the students. And if that is done, then that is success, right? And if every subject becomes very, very favorite of every student, then of course you will be getting all India rank 1. The key to success in UPSC is fall in love, but with studies, right? And कोई भी ऐसा ड्रीम नहीं होता, मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ सर, अपना ड्रीम फॉलो कर रहा हूँ. ये कोई ड्रीम की जर्नी नहीं होती, है ना. और अगर ऐसी आपको भावना आ रही है अपने अंदर से, है ना, कि यार मतलब क्या है यार ये, अगर नींद आ रही है, वो ड्रीम फॉलो नहीं करना, वो तो तुम ड्रीम में चले गए, है ना. इसका मतलब कहीं कुछ गलत हो रहा है. आप अपने आप को, आपका माइंड आपको खुद सिग्नल दे रहा है कि तू कुछ गलत कर रहा है. ड्रीम तो जो होता है वो तो पैशन होता है उसके अंदर. ड्रीम तो जो होता है उसके अंदर पेन भी होता है, पर नींद नहीं आती, ठीक है ना. वो ऐसा वो मिल्खा सिंह वाला पेन भी होता है, तो वो नींद नहीं आती, है ना. तो ये जहाँ पे भी ऐसा सिग्नल आने लगे अपनी प्रिपरेशन में, आप वहाँ समझ लें कि कुछ गलत हो रहा है. और फिर उसका सोल्यूशन ढूंढने की कोशिश करना, या तो सोर्स चेंज करना है या कुछ और चीज़ चेंज करनी है, पर मतलब कुछ चीज़ ठीक नहीं जा रही है, समझ रहे हो? ऐसे नहीं होगा कि यार बस हाँ ठीक है, किसी ने कह दिया, कुछ डायलॉग मार दिया, एवरी सब्जेक्ट हैज सम डर्टी पार्ट। अरे नहीं यार, ऐसा थोड़ी है ना कि अच्छा नहीं, नहीं, कोशिश करनी है मैक्सिमम टू मैक्सिमम, पूरी तत्पर कोशिश करनी है कि ऐसा बोर नहीं होना चाहिए पढ़ते टाइम। हर चीज़ का वाई ढूंढो, और जिसका वाई मिल जाता है ना वो हमें इंटरेस्टिंग लगता है। तो कभी भी रट्टा नहीं मारना, अगर रट्टा मारोगे तो बैंड बजेगा। रट्टा मारो पर समझ के मार लो यार। चलो चलो, इस चीज़ का रट्टा मारना है कि इन्फ्लेशन 4.85% है, पर क्या तुम्हें ये पता है कि इन्फ्लेशन होता क्या है? क्या तुम्हें ये पता है कि 4.85 को लो क्यों माना जाता है, 10 को ही हाई क्यों माना जाता है? ऐसा भी तो हो सकता था कि 10% इन्फ्लेशन नॉर्मल मानी जाती और सिर्फ जब 22 होती तभी हाई मानी जाती। ऐसा क्यों है? वाई पूछो। वो 3 इडियट्स मूवी है ना, जैसे 3 इडियट्स नहीं, वो तारे जमी पर, वो गाना है ना, वो सोचो 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 वाई वाई, तो वो बहुत ज़रूरी है। तो बस यही सिद्धांत अपना रखना। बाकी हिस्ट्री में हम ये लगा देंगे क्योंकि हिस्ट्री बहुत उस तरीके से बोरिंग है, ठीक है ना? तो विल मीट यू लेटर ऑन, टेक केयर, बाय बाय।